Yo, what up, what up? Today I got a special guest with me in the car. It's my wife, and it's only right that, you know what I'm saying, I have my wife with me because not only have I been in a successful relationship for 20 years, she's been in a successful relationship for 20 years, so she definitely got a lot to add to whatever topic that we discuss. You know what I mean? It's good to always get two sides, you know. If you wonder why I'm wearing these glasses, because I had surgery on one of my eyes last week, so I gotta wear these glasses to protect my eyes from the sun. But that's neither here nor there. But I'll say hey, babe.
Hey, how y'all doing?
You know what I mean? So I just wanted to talk about a subject that I remember having with a guy, and I was trying to get him to understand that he was wasting his time in a relationship, and this is why so many people end up always saying that every time they get in a relationship they go through the same thing, or either they are always finding the wrong person, or they keep running into bad relationships. So the storyline behind this conversation is the fact that he was, every day we would talk or whatever, he would always talk about his lady or whatever, and it would always be the negative side of what she ain't doing, what he trying to get her to do, and things like that. So after a period of time of hearing this, I asked him, I'm like, yo, every time you talk about your lady is always bad. He was like, nah, it ain't always bad. You know what I'm saying? But the things that he really wanted her to change, that was keeping him from really having the best relationship that he figured he could have with her. So I'm like, okay. So like, what was your priorities? So some of the priorities and standards that he had set for a relationship, he violated them by dealing with her, because some of the things that he didn't want, she had. So that was mistake number one, in my opinion. So when you set your standard up here, and then you end up with something right here, you already below your standard from the beginning. That's not good from the jump. So he was trying to tell me like, yeah, nah, man, you know, I'm gonna give her some time to change, or to fix the situation that he wanted fixed so they can have a better relationship. So I'm like, well, how long y'all been together? And he was like 6 years. So keeping all the way a buck with him, I was just like, yo, I'm gonna tell you something that you're not gonna want to hear. You wasting your time with her. You wasting her time, and you're wasting your time. Because the way I see it is this: a lot of times people miss the opportunity of having a great person in their life is because they stay in the wrong relationship too long. You understand? So the analogy, because we was going back and forth, it was getting kind of elevated because he wanted me to just see his point, and I saw his point and I understood. But being that I had the experience of being in a bad relationship and getting out of it in time to meet the woman of my dreams, I already knew that he was wasting his time, so I needed him to see my point. So the analogy that I gave him, I'm saying like, yo, whoa, let me give you an example. And I'm like, if she haven't changed in 6 years, if she haven't fixed the problem in 6 years, how much time do you give a person? 10 years? 20 years? 30 years? Like, when is it enough? You feel what I'm saying? That's crazy to me. You wasted 6 years of your life trying to get this woman to change and fix something that was already something that was below your standards that you didn't want to deal with from the beginning, right? All right, boom. So the analogy that I gave her, I said, this is where people make the mistake of staying in the wrong relationship too long, and how you miss out on the right person. So I said, imagine this like this, right? Going by, this is a conveyor belt going by. Good woman, good woman. Now you in this relationship, year one, good woman, bad woman, good woman, bad woman. Year two, good woman, bad woman, good woman, good woman, good woman. And then by the time you get out of the relationship and you jump back in the game to stop this person on the conveyor belt that you coming to, it's probably a bad person or a bad relationship. And then this is why you keep saying, yo, I always run into bad relationships. I keep having the same thing going, because you staying in this relationship too long. You're missing all of the good opportunities because you're stuck here focused on somebody who ain't gonna change in 6 years. How does that make sense? See, like when I was in my bad relationship, I don't understand from a male perspective too, and this could be from a female perspective too. You love that person, you want to see them do better, and yada yada yada. You get stuck in the feelings and the emotions of it. But you gotta look at the emotions and feelings that you have, and the standards that you have. If you feeling like, yo, this ain't right, and you keep feeling like this for time after time after time after time, guess what? You'll hear us say this a lot in these videos, right? And I'm gonna try to stay on point. At some point, it's not about what the other person is doing, it's about what you're doing. Because you don't have to do anything. You don't have to settle or allow anything. You can make a move to get out of the situation. A lot of times people don't, and they want to keep blaming the other person for what's going on in a relationship, and it ain't about the other person at this point, because you already see that they're not going to change after this long period of time, and now it becomes about what you're doing, not them. So the blame can't be on them. You got to look in the mirror at some point. So this is my point to him. 6 years, she ain't changed, but look what you've been missing in 6 years. Look at you not being available to the opportunities that was passing you by for 6 years, because you stayed stuck in this bad relationship for too long. That ain't gonna work anyway, because for number one, it's already below your standards. And so he was just quiet after that, and he actually realized, like, yo, you gotta be my man, because you just gave it to me real. Like, most people wouldn't give it to you that real, you know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, it's over with. It been over with. You just dragging your feet, because you can't see the fact that after 6 years, she haven't changed what you asked her to change. So what you think about that, babe?
And that means, from what you see in her in 6 years, that's who she is. When you first get in a relationship, just ask questions. That right there should determine if she's not what you're looking for, don't even start the relationship.
Facts.
Number two, if you see a flaw, try to work with them to see if they'll change. If they're not gonna change again, that's who they are.
Yeah.
If you get with a woman and you like your house clean and she don't clean up, again, that's who she is.
Yeah.
Everything you say you don't want, if this person is that's her.
Yeah.
Let it go. Find somebody, a woman you want to clean one, find a woman to clean up. Everything you say you want, find that woman. Believe me, she's out here.
That's a
You
fact.
just can't rush into stuff. At least give a person time to know the person. Don't say that's your girlfriend, your boyfriend in 2 weeks. You don't know that person.
Yeah.
Give it time, and I say at least try. You won't know until you try.
So,
But if they don't change, that's not the person for you. Don't force something that's not there.
facts.
If it's not there, keep moving on.
Yeah. So do you think they overlook the signs?
Yes, they overlook the signs thinking things gonna get better. If you see that sign, that's who they are.
So what would you tell a person that, because you know people, right? You got manipulators out here.
Yes.
So let's say at the end of the day, you in a situation with somebody, and you telling them that you want them to change this specific attribute or characteristic about themselves, and they change momentarily just so you can calm down and keep the relationship going. You know?
When you see that, again, let it go. Cause they just gonna change for that moment, just to say, hey, I changed, but they really haven't changed. But again, that's them.
That's just who they are.
That's just who they are.
Because you know, you can't hide who you are. You can only fake it for but so long. But what's in you gotta come out.
Hey, that's
100%.
just believe it. When you see it, believe it.
That's a fact. A lot of people don't believe it. They just, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, they just get caught up in their own emotions, or they don't realize that the person is resorting back to who they really are. And then they have another argument, and then the person change a little bit, and then it keeps going on like that, you know what I'm saying? Because they really not paying attention. Like you always tell me, pay attention to your surroundings. You got to pay attention to that person and their behavior, so you can know when to make your move, so you can see them for who they really are.
And don't give up, because it's somebody for everybody. Don't feel like this is what you have to put up with, because you don't. Somebody will appreciate everything that you're giving. Trust me.
Yeah, that's a fact. And that was my point. My point was like, you know, when I was in that bad relationship, if I wouldn't have stuck to my guns and said, nah, this ain't this ain't right. This ain't what I pictured the relationship for me to be like. I'm not no argumentative person. You know what I'm saying? And there was certain other things that was below my standards. And I had to recognize that and say, nah, I believe that is a person out here that fit my standards. You understand what I'm saying? I don't have to lower my standards just to say I'm in a relationship or just to say that I'm with somebody. So if I would not stay 10 toes down in my decision that this was over with, guess what? Well, my wife of 20 years now came about, I wouldn't have been available for her. I would have been stuck in that bad relationship, and I would have missed the opportunity that was right there in my face. That it was coming on a conveyor belt slow because she was around for a minute. You understand what I'm saying? But if I would have stayed stuck in that relationship, guess what? She would have just went on by, and possibly somebody else would have got what I was supposed to get because I didn't move my feet. I stayed stuck emotionally in a bad relationship that I knew for a period of time. This ain't working. At some point, you got to realize, yo, this ain't working and it's not going to work. If you feeling like for a long period of time, yo, this ain't right. It ain't right. That's your gut feeling. That's your intuition letting you know, yo, this ain't right, man. And this ain't for me. You know what I mean? So, babe, you got anything else you want to add?
Always go with your gut. You don't have to settle for nobody. Don't try to fix yourself for that person. You're you. They're them. If you feel like that you're trying to fix yourself for them, again, it's not for you. But believe me, it's somebody out here for you. Just don't rush things, and you should figure it out pretty much like in the beginning. Just recognize the signs and check your list off. This is what I want. Okay, she got this. And just see how long she's that way. So you got to look at your list, check your list, and see how long they're that way. Because if they're not what you're looking for, oh, believe me, it's going to come out. God going to bring it out.
Yeah. So the list she talking about is you got to sit down and figure out what your priorities are, what your standards are. And you really got to write it out so you'll know what it is. A lot of times we try to think of everything in our head, but it's better when you put it on paper so you can see it. And it'll help you recognize it when you are entertaining people that, nah, this person ain't, nope, they below my standards. So that's the list that she talking about. You got to get standards and priorities. If you don't have those, you'll just accept anything. And this is why you get what you get, because you don't have no standards. And you get what you get. That's the bottom line on that. So I hope this was helpful to somebody. You know what I mean? If you like this video, thumbs up and share it with somebody if you can. You know, if you can't, it is what it is. You know, this message ain't for everybody. So if it ain't for you, you know, just keep it pushing, and you know, you'll find something that's for you. But if it is for you, stay tuned, because we're gonna have more of these videos coming through, especially with my wife. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, my wife has helped me grow as well as I helped her grow, but she's helped me grow a lot because, you know, her perspective is so real. It made me see things that I didn't see. Like, she's the eyes in back of me, I'm the eyes that's in back of her, and we help each other grow. You know what I mean? That's why we had a beautiful relationship all these years with minimum issues. You know what I mean? So thumbs up if you like it. If you don't, it is what it is. Love y'all. See y'all next time.
Thanks, everybody.